this a Sakamoto Days fight? Where Oki isn't a bum? What's up, guys? That guy with a pencil here. Fun fact, I do mean to have it on me and keep it on me at all times. Hey, another fun fact. Oki, man. Hey. Even if it has to come at the expense of my glorious, handsome, legendary, mysterious, sometimes a little bit strangely written king, Nagamo, I'm just happy to have a 1v1 where it doesn't feel like someone's getting washed, and I am so happy that Oki's not a bum. And, like, here's the thing, here's extra context. Obviously, you can tell, Oki's been just a little teeny tiny bit disappointing. Essentially, he was meant to be the replacement for, well, I feel like that's rude. That's not really right to say. He wasn't necessarily meant to be the replacement for Takamura, but considering how the museum arc ended with Takamura's death, and obviously, you know, Nagamo being switched out of the order and all that, like, Oki being reintroduced was supposed to introduce a new level of heft, a new level of weight. The big bad leader of the order has shown back up, and he's about to start handling business. Obviously, I and many others sort of thought he was going to be that guy, that dude, a legendary beast, a monster. Maybe not as strong as my glorious, handsome, legendary, old sword-wielding King Takamura, but at least up to snuff where, like, every single time this guy appeared, our main cast would have to be, like, tiptoeing on eggshells type beat. Like, ultimately, it was over if he showed up. You may need to dip instantaneously. But unfortunately, for the longest time, and I'm not sure how long it was the end of the museum arc at this point, but regardless, up until last chapter, Oki has kind of never felt like that. He's attempted to? Is that the right word to say? It's like he's attempted to. He's danced on the line of it, but it always starts really, really well, then it falls off. Like, obviously, Oki hasn't caught a single body. Oki has never really done major damage to any character, and Oki hasn't really ever run ones. He's either ordered people around to fight for him, and then his subordinates fail, and then he's forced to interfere only for him to fail. And admittedly, he does have some half-decent feats. Like, he does actually react to Kendaka. Even if Kendaka's older now, it's still a pretty good feat, considering Oki himself is like, hey, he's still the fastest assassin alive. That's crazy. And obviously, Yotsumora's no slouch either, but ultimately, Oki just hasn't really had the presence, the heft, of someone who, if not was going to become the main antagonist, because obviously X was still alive and still existed and was going to always be our main antagonist, it felt like he was going to be, or needed to be, an interesting secondary major antagonist, and he was just lacking that. Last chapter, though, gave me a little bit of hope. Obviously, this is due to the power scaler in me glazing Nagamo to the moon and back. And of course, the power scaler in me is actually kind of blown away and Boku bonkers and kind of losing his mind a little bit at this, because I'm like, how on earth is Nagamo, who was confirmed to be the second vice... Well, I mean, to be fair, Uzuki said that. And how much do I trust Uzuki? I guess that's the question. But essentially, Nagamo, who's confirmed to be the second best fighter in the Order, is now seemingly struggling with Oki, who was a member of the Order. But the way that I have wrapped my brain around this is, one, even though Oki hasn't caught any legitimate body, thinking back over all of Oki's major encounters, he also hasn't really taken any damage. If I'm thinking, like, obviously he's been hit by cars, but didn't really take damage from getting hit by a car. Obviously, he was hit numerous times. He was, like, tagged time and time again by the Yotsumoto or Kendaka, or I think Shishiba even tagged him once or twice. Like, we've seen him get hit before, but once again, not really much damage. And while he hasn't done any lethal damage outward, just simply that alone is enough. And of course, you have the feat of him reacting to Kendaka, the fastest assassin in the verse. So, like, I'm able to rationalize a whole lot of this. And on top of that, I'm able to exclude Oki from the statement made about Nagamo by Uzuki, if I'm trying to take that in for the power scaling thing, because of Oki being the leader of the Order. It's kind of like, how do I put this? Sometimes the leader of a group isn't included in the group itself. Especially in, like, a power scaling sense. Like, what's a good example? Like, for example, the Kingdom of Syndria from Magi. I'm sorry, I don't know why I'm on such a Magi kick right now. It's funny because I haven't reread it in a little bit. So maybe there's a sign for me to reread Magi. Maybe my subconscious is like, make Magi videos, pencil man, reread peak. But with it being the case, in Magi, there's a kingdom known as Syndria. And the king, Sinbad, you may have heard of him, is leagues upon leagues upon leagues upon leagues upon leagues upon leagues above everybody else. So we have statements of people in his organization being the second strongest or third strongest or even the strongest of his group. Like, I believe Marsoor is stated to be the strongest warrior of Sinbad's kingdom, not including Sinbad himself. So that's what I'm kind of rationalizing it for Oki. Nagumo was the second best fighter in the order, behind Sakamoto, but he was never the leader of the order. That's what the last chapter was about. Ultimately, Oki wanted Nagumo to be the leader of the order in the past, but he never became that. And thusly, Oki is exempt from that statement made by X. So technically, this doesn't contradict anything, and we could just argue in every other scenario, Oki was either holding back, wasn't taking the battle seriously, or a mix of both. So now that we have him actually doing something with Nagumo, bro, I'm sorry, I'm just like it makes me happy, dogs. I can actually finally take this character at least a little, not too much, but a little bit seriously. Let me tell you. I was not taking Homeboy seriously before. But let's not waste more time. Let's hop right into chapter 223, Conceited. Your house blend. Enjoy. Interesting. So they're drinking, is that tea or coffee? I actually can't tell. Notably, I am, actually, now I think about it, I don't drink tea as often as I used to. Now I'm more of like a lemonade and water guy. No, mostly water though. Like, this is just a whole thing. Like, I go through like 3 of these a day, and that's sometimes on the low end. But I used to be a very avid tea drinker, and there was a short stint where I was like doing coffee, mainly because boy, you needed some energy. But then I was just like, man, I'll take naps or something. I don't know. I just didn't really like coffee. I still don't really like the taste of it. And the only way I could, like, consume it is if I, like, watered it down a whole bunch with a whole bunch of creamers and sugars and stuff like that. So essentially to the point where it wasn't even coffee anymore. Kind of defeated the point. So, I don't really get the common obsession with coffee. All my friends are addicted to this stuff. I don't really get it. But let's see. Okay, they're both taking a sip. Actually, no. Oki doesn't seem to be taking a sip. He's just holding it up. But Nagumo will take a sip. Lifts a knife? Okay, Nagumo. He said, well, you know, I am thirsty, boss man. But I'm also thirsty for your blood. Let's see. Oh, okay. And you know, the thing is, it's too late. Well, I do like this interaction, right? Once again, showing Oki's genuine, serious threat level. Because Nagumo, obviously they're looking at each other. This isn't really a sneak. Like, unless you want to argue, Oki's looking down at his cup. Nagumo also appears to be looking down. So Nagumo grabbing the knife and sneaking it, and then Oki immediately being on guard to bashed away with very specifically just like a little teaspoon too. Like he doesn't use a massive spoon. He just uses a little teaspoon to completely deflect the knife into a wall. But the main issue I do want to bring up, Sakamoto Days is a comedy manga. I know that. But for where the manga is at narratively, I think we do like it. But is it too? No, I don't think it's too late. Because you can almost always justify or personify like a faceless cast basically whenever you want. Once again, I'm thinking of Mangi, where the longest time like background characters are kind of just there, but then there were times where I actually get to see like cultures of the different nations, stuff like that. And honestly, where Mangi started to hit its peak and really hit its stride, I'm thinking of unironically Sindri again. But with it being the case, the Sakamoto Days civilian cast has an issue where they are a little bit too decentralized, a little bit too defocused, a little bit too disconnected from the world itself. That they don't even, like, they feel, and even if they are this, don't get me wrong, meta-narratively I understand this, they are literally props and things to get in the way and maybe, like, escalate a fighting scenario for our good guys, as in, escalate the difficulty of it. But very specifically, I think they were a little bit too zoned out. Like they don't engage with the plot enough, and they're never taken seriously enough that when anything happens to them, I even remotely care in the slightest bit. Like, the fact that this guy has no reaction to a knife being jammed, like, 3 feet, well, not even 3 feet, like, maybe half a foot at most above his head into a wall. He doesn't even blink, he's just reading his book. Like, I know people are not socially aware, but I highly doubt this was quiet. It literally hits a whoosh, and then goes into the wall. Have him freak out a little bit, have him get worried, but no. And I don't think that's ever going to change, because it's so late into the manga, or at least it feels so late into the manga. I'm feeling like it feels like you're darn near starting the final battle. Or at least the final gauntlet. But, man, I don't know. I feel like the civilian cast being so jokey and not in, like, a good campy way is not a benefit for the narrative. Let's see. Oh, Nagumo? Oh, so look, and hey, would you look? I think Suzuki-sensei may have heard me. And everyone else being like, hey, gang, we missed the 1v1s, and we missed when these characters did not have healing factors, bro. Please keep these characters with actual like regular human abilities, at least somewhat in terms of like recovery and stuff like that. Because Nagamo still has the hole in his hand. Typically, between chapters, Suzuki Sensei will pretend like body piercing damage basically never happened, and he just leave like scuffs or anything. But no, you can still clearly see the hole in Nagamo's hand, and he's still fighting with it. So I like that. Let's see. Thump. Oh, but you see what I mean? See what I mean? Nagamo, he lunges in with this great, like, the kick of doom, despair, agony, and dereliction, bro. Like, why? Well, obviously, I know why. But so, like, don't. Like, he legit, and that was off a left-hand lift? Nagamo. Really? That means that man straight went, and then pushed off with enough force to lift up his entire body and he put torque into the spin on that. That is, in fact, this is, this is right. Like, he put torque into that bad boy, lifted it up, went parallel, and almost drop kicked it, boom, straight out. But look at this. Parfait. I didn't order that. Like, here's the thing. Let me take a little sip as I say this. Sorry. Make sure you stay hydrated, folks. But you can have your comedy. You can have your worthless, dumb, idiot civilian cast. You can have that. But in moments like these, where I'm meant to be truly locked in and invested with this battle between the lead or the pseudo leader of the New Order and the pseudo leader of the Sakamoto crew, or essentially just the resistance against the New Order and the new JAA, I feel like having these I don't want to say brain dead, because that sounds mean, but essentially having these empty brain civilians just chilling, and like there's no light in that man's eyes. He's not even looking at. He's not even drawn to be looking at the parfait. He's like, I didn't know that. It rips me out of the moment. If this was just a full page of Kanaka, or not Kanaka, if this was a full page of Oki getting kicked, perfectly fine. It's when the humor gets in the way of the seriousness of a narrative, I think it becomes a problem. I'm all for humor. Some of my favorite series out there have crazy amounts of humor. My favorite piece of fiction currently, God of High School, has this problem too, where occasionally there are moments where they'll just rip me right out of an instant because they decided to throw some random human in there. It's not a Sakamoto Days exclusive thing, but I note that it happens so consistently with Sakamoto Days, and it very specifically is usually through the civilian cast, which so far just hasn't really given me, and I feel like barely anyone else, a reason to remotely care about them. Which is kind of an issue considering the whole current state of the world is based on their safety or lack thereof. Let's see. I didn't order that. Eesh. At least let me enjoy my... Oh, so it is coffee. Let's see. At least let me enjoy my coffee. Oh, so interesting. I thought he got knocked out, but no. He it looks like did he like slam into the wall then reset to the table? How do you know how that works? Oh, Mr. Oki, you forgot something. What? The bill. What are the chances that that's not actually... I mean, like, that'd be real fast. Did they just order coffee and be like, all right, that's it, you can bring the check? Where did you get the bill from? But, hey, I'll take it. I love when Suzuki Sensei gets funny with what is used in the environment. Honestly, I want to see the coffee cup also used as a weapon. Oh, very interesting that Oki is actually still holding onto his coat, showing that even though he is taking damage from Nagamo, he's still not necessarily taking it all too seriously in the grand scheme of things. Like the fact that he's still sipping coffee, the fact that he's making jokes, the fact that he's holding onto his coat, the fact that, I mean, maybe he just doesn't have his full spear on him, but he's not whipping that out. Ultimately, he seems so almost like blasé about this scenario, which is very interesting to see. Oki is a character who I actually do hope we get, well, I feel like we already kind of know his whole deal. He just likes assassin supremacy, but hopefully there's some like more deeper root to that. I feel like he'd be an interesting character to explore a whole lot more, especially considering where he is positioned meta-narratively and narratively within the verse. What's it? The bell. And okay, so does this mean Nagamo just full body tackled him out that window, or did he like break? Like what happened? Let's see. No thanks. Why am I giving Oki that voice? No thanks. Oh, doesn't the boss usually pick up the tab? I mean, like, depends on, like, where you go and, like, the culture. I mean, so, like, typically, I mean, I'm trying to think of any time. Then again, actually, no, I'd say the boss does typically pick up the tab. But, Nagamo, you're not his employee anymore. You were kicked out. Let's see. Sorry, I'm no longer your boss. I mean, like, he's spitting, though. Like, technically, Nagumo, you have no relation to this man. In fact, you're kind of just attacking him for absolutely no reason. How could you do this to him? No, I'm kidding. Let's see. I'm no longer your boss. Okay, let's say whoever lives will pay. Oh, Nagumo. Oh, Nagumo, the aura for me goes crazy. He's like, he really said, I'm gonna boom you. I'll pay this bill. I'm gonna drink your coffee too. Let's see. Sure. But if there's one thing I have to respect about both of these characters, even if Nagumo definitely still seems to have like a little bit more personal and playful investment into it all, this is it's almost an extreme business meeting. Like these two both know they're some of the best at what they do, and even if they don't have like a direct respect for each other, they acknowledge each other's strengths, and they just they aren't really. I mean, like they're joking in the sense that whoever lives will pay. I'm assuming neither of them are going to pay, even if both get away. Which presumably, I don't think Nagumo's going to boom Oki. I don't think Oki's going to boom Nagumo. I just don't see it. But with that being the case, the more like almost business casual meetup between these two is very, very interesting. Let's see. Sure. Oh, okay. So, okay. I didn't ever realize that. So his staff, while it is one singular long staff, it does snap into multiple sections, which makes sense. I do believe it's implied, if not confirmed, he trained with Yotsumoto, who we know uses the 3-section staff, and then Amane uses the 4-section staff. Let's see. Or is it Amane? Actually, I forget the kid's name. But, because no, I think it's Amane. It's Amane, yeah. But, interesting. So he pulls out the spear, immediately clicks into place. And look, like all the notches that once held the spear separate do disappear. But I'm guessing those rings back there are what hold it. I'm guessing what prevents it from consistently being in extendo mode or keeping it in slimmo mode. Let's see. And here is the multi-tool once again. It's been a while since we've seen this. I think the last time we saw it in like direct action was, ironically again, the end of the museum arc. And even then, I say it's before that. Like, I don't really think Nagumo got many licks, if any licks, in on Sakamoto. I don't actually remember. At the same time, what would it be before? I guess it's just Gaku, which I think is like nearly 50 plus chapters away at this point, which is kind of crazy. Maybe even 60. Let's see. Blocking with the multi. Interesting though, he doesn't. Well, he blocks with the lower part of the multi tool. So let's see. Oh wow. So even though his blade went through the multi-tool, Nagumo once again shows like their drastic difference in speed. Unless you want to argue maybe this is Oki drawing back. Look at where they are here. The spear is about to pierce Chihiro's shoulder. Chihiro, wrong. This is why I don't. I have Kagurabachi on the brain, but still, why am I doing this? Hold on. I'm taking a sip to refresh. Why did I say G? Where did they even come from? I mean, I guess because character black hair, but Nagumo. I made another mistake recently. I called some group the Hishaku. I think is that also a Sakamoto? I don't know what it was. I don't know what's up with me. Kagurabachi is clearly just overtaking my brain a little bit right now, which is crazy because that's what Ichi the Witch's job is. But with it being the case, look at Nagumo here. The spear goes through, or the 3-section staff with a spear head goes through the multi-tool. He slightly deflects it. But then, he's gone entirely in the next frame before Oki can even finish slamming down the weapon, implying that Nagumo is, in fact, drastically faster, at least to some degree. Let's see. That thing you said earlier, about the JA losing without you guys. I have a warning for you. Don't get too full of yourself, Nagumo. The era of the Almighty Order is over. Okay, but that just makes you a bum, dog. That genuinely just makes you a bum. What do you mean it's already over? We didn't even really get to see it. Let's see. Oh, but wait, are they gonna... I've already scouted a few new recruits with abundant killing talent. Okay. So this is how the story's about to stretch a little bit. I was about to say, with last chapter's title, and even, like, Sakamoto presumably in a coma getting some sort of crazy Rion amp somehow, through, like, willpower or whatever. Essentially, I was actually kind of wondering about, like, the length and longevity of this story. At least the way Suzuki's subscribed about it, or subscribe? Are you subscribed to the channel? I'm so sorry. I am actually a little bit deep while I'm recording this. But with it being the case, with how Uzuki-sensei Stop! With Suzuki-sensei describing that they want Sakamoto Days to cover a whole bunch of different topics. I was wondering how they're going to do that, considering it seemed like we were in the wind down. But with these new characters being introduced to support the new order, actually does make a little modicum of sense that they would be able to come out and show out and just exist in order to sort of fill. Because someone did it beautifully in last week's comment section. They broke down who could be on the villain side, who could be on the hero side, and the heroes just had them drastically outnumbered. So it is kind of necessary for the order, if it plans to function, to gather in mass in order to, well, take down Sakamoto and crew. Which I think, honestly, now is the only, like, after they do that, what is their goal? Just, like, vibing, I guess? I don't know, but let's see. Man, doesn't seem like the street lights are sketchier lately. Yeah, probably because of those new JAA dudes. Huh? Hey, officer! Aren't you supposed to be keeping the crime under control? But, like, I don't know. Is it just, like, me? I don't like talking spooky to anybody. Mainly because, in the modern day and age, I don't know what you got on you, and I ain't really trying to find out. I'm not no Curious George, dog. I'm not looking to see what you got or what you're gonna do to me. But, especially to any person in law, like, I'm not doing that again. Like, that is simply not it. That's not it. And in this case, aren't you supposed to be keeping crime under control? What crime? Apparently, you can just bang people now. So, like, that's not even a crime anymore. So, what do you mean? Let's see. You're living off our tax dollars, right? Do your job. But, like, what is his job in this? He was just chilling. Let's see. Yeah. Okay. Or we could just pop him in the dome. That works too. We could just pop him in the dome. Sheesh. I became a cop because you get to shoot with a goon. With this new JA, it's illegal to slaughter. There's no point in being a cop anymore. Okay, so this is gonna be one of our new guys. Seemingly enough, a marksman. That's gonna be interesting because I don't think outside, well, especially with Kamehate gone, the Order technically doesn't have any marksmen, or at least the new Order. You could argue Tanabata is a range fighter, but I wouldn't say he's a marksman. Actually, where? See, this is what I get on thought. This is why I cannot record with AV. I was planning to record so many reviews today. I cannot right now. It's been too long a day. So let me think. There's no point in being a cop anymore. Oh, but there we go. The whole idea of what he's gonna do with marksman of the new Order being gone. He really is the only range outside of maybe Tanabata with the range amp with his amp, and or Kumanomi with her magnet stuff, and maybe Torres with his air blasters. But ultimately, getting another marksman on the team to replace Kamehate makes sense. I'm interested to see how potent this guy is. Let's see. Why would the JA scout me though? Well, as long as I get to shoot. He's like, man, I don't care. I'm here for one thing and one thing only. Let's see. Doesn't that Brad ever shut? Oh, yeah. Once again, in this world where people get boomed at any second, and you just saw a guy get boomed right in front of you, dog. I'm not talking to anybody spooky, dog. I'd be scared to talk to anybody. I don't want to get dropped. Let's see. Your kid never stops wailing. It's a real pain. Also, you should really chill with the sun protection. But see, like this stupid psychic. Like I don't care about it. But let's see. Dang, kid looks so ugly when it cries. Hey. Look better than you. But like, oh, I'm sorry. I'll make him stop. Okay. Well, that is in fact a way to do it. Okay. Wasn't I mean, like, I don't know what to expect. Where'd she even get that from? I don't know. But all right. What? Wee. Oh, you just love blood, don't you? Oh, starting them young, I guess. Starting them young. Do what you gotta do, I guess. Okay, interesting. You just love blood, don't you? Oh, Kyoto Kansai Killing Academy graduation ceremony. All right, let's see. We're gonna miss you two so much when you move to Tokyo. We really have to get together again. What do y'all learn here? Is this her branch from the JA? I'm guessing. Let's see. Ashina, you guys gotta buy the new JA, right? For reals? That's amazing. Well, you were always the top of the class. Heh, you're both geniuses. Both? 2 for 1 special, 2 for 1 special? Let's see. It came. Wait, sorry. All the female voices are blending together. I'll think of more unique. It looks like this. Maybe I'm just reading fast, but this is a quick chapter. Huh? Let's see. It came. It's like fine. It's like our. It's like, English. It's like our time has finally come, right? The teacher said assassins shouldn't get famous, right? I'm not into it. Tokyo seems sus. I mean, like, I don't blame Reddit for trying to incorporate more modern slang, but man, this Sussy Baka in the current year, man, I think sus kind of hit its peak back when Among Us was a thing, and that was like back in 2020. I was like, Tokyo seems sus. Oh, come on. You're too timid, bro. We'll be fine. We're gonna slay big time in Tokyo and make a name for ourselves. Who are you people? Let's see. Well, Sheena. But so I guess the girl Sheena, I'm not sure who the guy is. Let's see. It just hit me that Goes. For some reason, my brain was looking at the middle panel, and then I saw Goes right at the bottom. I was like, oh, my boy. Let's see. Hey, we got some lively kohai, Taurus. Huh? I never went to school, so having a kohai is getting a kohai is getting me amped. Ugh, what a weirdo. Poor Taurus, man. Poor Taurus. Just going through it absolutely and indubitably. But I mean, it was a quick chapter. And if I did have to have one critique so far for both of these chapters, and the last one, if someone pointed out, I may have been a little bit too heavy on the glades for the last chapter. Sorry if this review was at all incoherent. I think your boy is like between consciousness and non-consciousness right now. Your boy's super tired. But with it being the case, the one complaint I do have for both of these, I kind of just wish we would get a chapter start to finish fully focused on this fight. Obviously, the last chapter started the fight, so I can excuse that one. But while it is interesting to get sort of a peek into the future of other JA members that will now be fighting later, such as Mr. Officer Man here. Fight! Okay, as Mr. Officer Man here and the Cleaver Lady here with her baby, like, I think all of this could have been saved for something else, considering this how important this fight is. And it's kind of an issue that Nagamo's other best fight in the series has, Nagamo versus Gaku, where there's a lot of time spent away from the battle, which I think still is the most interesting and most character thematically relevant part for both characters involved here, just like it was back with Gaku. So I do hope that maybe next chapter will fully focus, but then it can be shifted over to Taurus and... Why is my brain? This is why you don't record retire, folks. What's his name? But essentially, I do hope we get a chapter start to finish of these two actually fighting, because in Nagamo vs. Gaku, we got a chunk of it, a piece 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 of it, then it was off screen. I hope the same thing doesn't happen here, and we actually do get to see the fight, and I hope we get a full chapter dedicated to it, because the main issue I have with this chapter is that in little ways, thanks to the civilians and everything else, like, these things just don't feel as serious as they should be, considering the stakes of the entire matter at hand. So ultimately, a W chapter, but I do wish more of it was focused on the actual fight I do want to see. And on top of that, I do kind of wish... Man, what do I wish for? I think I wish... See, this I'm so tired right now. A worthy chapter. What was this thing? What was I thinking? Only critique was the overemphasis... Something. Oh man, I'm so. This is okay. I'm gonna have to edit this, upload this, and go straight to sleep, dog. Because what is happening to your boy? Just give me a full chapter of Nagamo versus Oki, top to bottom. No random civilians cutting in. No cutaways to other new random characters. No none of that. Just give me a proper fight between these two. Let me see why Oki deserves to be the leader of the order. Let me see why Nagamo deserves to be called the second strongest. That's it. There we go. Sight's out. I think Gengar is literally trying to eat my dreams right now, so he's trying to knock your boy out. But with that being the case, if you didn't always see that in this video, please leave Gargang. Yeah, I'm wearing Gengar. Leave Gargang. Gargen. Is that how you say it? Gergen. Gargang? Wait. Gen. Yeah, Gargen. Gargang in the comment section down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please leave a like, share, comment, and subscribe. Make sure the notifications so you don't miss out on any music of the channel. Also, so you don't have a page down below, where you can support me for as low as 1, get 1, one, exclusive videos, early content, and more. Also, then become a member of the channel for as low as $3 a month to get the same perks and more. So those perks include live reactions, here the series I'm to review, hide variations of all my videos, and if you become a $12 Patreon, $12 member, you can order whatever video you want. Also a link to my co-founder down below. You drop 5 minutes of a short video, 20 beans on video, or any beans at all. Any support is always greatly appreciated. Now, I'd like to thank you so much for watching once again, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is that guy with the pencil, writing off. I would like to give a thank you to our sketch tier members: Eternal Flame, Red Wolf 4765, Astro, Super Flame Zero, Glacier, XZ, Zera, Brendan Payne, J2MA, Guillaume, Buddha Uda, Alex Kenny, Yuki Ally, Enzo, Nevis 97, Zachary Wilson, Azo 2404, Planet Crone, Rye Rich, G Prosper, Swift Strike, Alexicon, Striker Man, and Autumn Mornings Lazo. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our line art patrons: Sean, Midnight Lord 21, Kevin, Encarnacion, Dread Zoan, and A+A. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our Ink tier members: Austin Wimberly, Euchia, and Shrimpo the Shrimp. Then, I'd like to give a thank you to our digital art tier members: J Warrior and AZ Void. And I'd like to give a thank you to our colored art tier patrons: Waki Munoz and Waki Munoz. And a final thank you to our ultimate, that guy with a pencil tier patron, Calvin's wife. Not Calvin Elder, who ultimately does have one of my kidneys, but now I must know, and I must undergo the process of getting the second one removed, so I can send the other over to this wonderful family.